Bill Clinton just said, "Swear me in, cameras on." So why did James Comer suddenly ask for the lights off and the doors closed? Today, we're breaking down the on-record challenge Clinton threw at MAGA and why the committee that loves TV time doesn't want this one on TV. Stay to see the exact quotes, the strategy behind private depositions, and how this turns the Epstein files from partisan ammo into a transparency test the GOP is flunking. If they want accountability, why hide the mic when it's finally hot? Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. They kept poking him on cable. Say Epstein, and he finally said it back with conditions they didn't expect. He didn't hedge. He walked right into the arena and drew the line himself. That's why the flip felt so sharp. The guy they thought would duck suddenly asked for the one format you can't massage after the fact. Live, sworn, and start to finish. Here's where it turned. Clinton said, "I want to testify publicly about Epstein, about the Epstein files. This is the fight you wanted, Donald. This is the fight you wanted." MAGA Republican James Comer, let's do it. Put me in front of the world, cameras on. Swear me in under oath and let's have that conversation. Let's talk about it transparently. No edits, no staffer whispering. Let's circle back. That offer put the committee on the clock. Answer with yes and they lose control of the cut. Answer with no, and they look like they want the story, not the facts.
Former President Bill Clinton is not holding back. A day after his wife, the former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, went on the offense, calling out Donald Trump and saying, "And just this week, I've agreed to appear in person before the committee." But it's still not enough for Republicans on the House Oversight Committee. Donald Trump's in the files, about 38,000 references. There's more references to Donald Trump in the Epstein files than there is Harry Potter in the Harry Potter 7 books.
It's a trap only transparency can spring. And then the brakes screeched. The oversight crew that treats Fox hits like cardio suddenly prefers a private conference room. Chairman Comer's line was that, "The deposition is for substance. This is a serious investigation. The deposition will be videoed. You'll have the audio and a transcript." Translation in plain English. We'll record it, then we'll decide when and how you see it. It's not nothing, but it's not the same as a live feed where every awkward pause and every follow-up lands in real time. Clinton didn't let that slide. He shot back. Now Chairman Comrade says he wants cameras, but only behind closed doors. Who benefits from this arrangement? It's not Epstein's victims who deserve justice, not the public who deserve the truth. It serves only partisan interest. This is not fact-finding. It's pure politics. I will not sit idly as they use me as a prop in a closed-door kangaroo court by a Republican Party running scared. Hillary added the context Republicans don't love hearing. For 6 months, we engaged Republicans on the Oversight Committee in good faith. We told them what we know under oath. They ignored all of it. They moved the goalposts and turned accountability into an exercise in distraction. That's not a vibe check. That's a paper trail claim. The stakes are simple. A public hearing creates instant accountability. You swear in, you answer, you correct on the spot, and the country sees it as it happens. There's no delay where staff can sift, snip, and drop the one sentence that plays best on partisan TV. A closed-door deposition can be thorough, sure, but it also lets gatekeepers decide what counts as the moment. If you've ever watched a game live and then caught the team's highlights later, you know the deal. The live game shows the missed shots, the sloppy turnover, the coach yelling at his own guy. The highlight reel? It's the poster dunk and the slow-mo chest bump. And guess who cuts the highlight reel? The home team. This isn't academic either. High-profile hearings have moved opinion before because they unfolded in public with documents to match. The January 6th proceedings didn't just air testimony. They synced exhibits, texts, and timelines on screen so viewers could weigh each claim in context. Benghazi's marathon sessions gave voters hours of unfiltered exchanges, turning canned talking points into on-camera cross-exams. That's the power of live coverage plus released records. People aren't told what to think. They watch and decide. So if the stated mission is justice for victims and truth for the public, why not let the country watch the full exchange, end to end? If the testimony is weak, it will wilt under the lights. If it's strong, it doesn't need a narrator.
Let's talk about the Epstein files in public. Hillary Clinton's in the files exactly 0 times, where we've talked about the references to Melania. Now Chairman Comer says he wants cameras, but only behind closed doors. Who benefits? Well, now former President Bill Clinton is saying, let's do this. I want to testify publicly about Epstein, about the Epstein files.
Clinton basically turned the Epstein debate from a mudslinging loop into a transparency test. He tossed the keys to the front door and said, "Open it." Okay, so what's the real difference between a closed-door deposition and a televised hearing? And why would Comer prefer the blinds down? If your case is rock solid, you don't hide the mic. So what's the play here? The move is format control. Private deposition first, then decide what the public gets later. That's not a wild conspiracy. That's how the process is built. Staff lawyers do most of the talking. They control the order of topics, press the same point for an hour if they want, and pause for breaks when it suits strategy. Time is capped by rules you don't see on TV. And leaks? They say they won't, but selective releases are baked into the machinery because only a few people hold the files. You get the transcript when they say it's ready. You get the clip when they say it's clean. Meanwhile, narratives have time to harden. Now line that up against a public hearing. Members ask the questions on camera. Every answer lands in front of reporters in seconds. If a claim falls apart, it falls apart in front of everyone, not inside a PDF posted 2 weeks later. That creates risk for anyone who wants to float a heavy allegation on thin sourcing. It also creates risk for the witness if the answers wobble. That's the tension. A live hearing can swing public opinion by dinner. A private deposition buys days to edit your arguments and test your talking points on friendly shows before the documents drop. Here's the GOP's stated rationale, and it's straight from the chair. James Comer calls depositions the venue for substance and public hearings more for entertainment than substance. He also says the deposition will be video recorded, with audio and a transcript released so everyone in America will have access to it, and that this has been his practice for every deposition I've ever done. That sounds neat and tidy. The irony? The same folks who treat TV hits like cardio now say TV hearings are fluff. Grumpy Trumpy loves a camera like a mirror loves a selfie, but suddenly the lens is a problem? Donnie Diapers wants order now? Okay, counselor, let's dig into the numbers talk without getting lost in rumor soup. In the files discourse, you'll hear big counts tossed around. How many references appear? Whose names show up? Which entries are incomplete or unverified? That's where people blur the line between confirmed records and barstool speculation. Keep it simple. Confirmed facts live in flight logs and court documents. Claims built on surveillance gaps or jail night whispers are not the same thing. One is evidence. The other is a late-night Reddit thread with a ring light. There's a playbook for this. Past committees often run closed-door interviews first, then stage a public hearing after they've mapped every answer and found the snippets that sing. The management trick is to set the frame before the audience arrives. If you drop a curated packet the morning of the hearing, you steer questions towards your strongest ground and away from the soft sand. That's not illegal. That's politics. Attorneys like depositions because they narrow scope and dodge surprise. Politicians like hearings when optics help them. So why flip now?